enough, can't stress enough. You're gonna lose a little and it's gonna be tough. Hit the ground running with your super stuff. Get caught, get loose again. Everybody asking what's happening.
This is doing my head in already. No, I can't cope. Just really got a spot. But I've just realised it's not even that. It's not there touching. I've started it, but not with any finesse, let me tell you. I just bent it. So I just wanted them logs splitting and throwing. They're for the house fire, not for the biomass. They're different logs altogether. Just taking the Merlo down, filling the silage trailer up for tomorrow because we've got TB test, and in the afternoon we've got someone coming, so we want everything done. And we want a bit of a tidy up, to be fair, because actually it's getting a little bit of a scrow again. But we've been here, there and everywhere showing and doing God knows what. Everything other than farming, seemingly, to you lot, because that's all I've been videoing. So it's late on. Roy's just going to feed some cattle. Can you see through there? They're waiting. I'm just going to take this. Well, I'm going to alter this pipe first because it's scraping the road. Nothing worse. Come on. But I don't want it too long at this side because it gets caught in the arms when you turn your corners. A couple of people have asked why we're feeding cows outside. So directly after first cut there was pretty much a drought, and then there was a huge thunderstorm right after, and then there was bright sunshine, and it burnt all the grass and basically scorched it, and it stunted the growth. So what we're doing is we had a full second pit to go at. Obviously first cut is there, and then we had the second cut here. Now I know it looks a mess, don't hate me. I know all you like perfect dairy farmers are going to go, it's going to mess with you. It is very, very dry stuff. It's more akin to bloody, can you hear it? It's good, don't get me wrong, it smells really nice, but it isn't silage as such. It's just very dry. Anyway, you wouldn't want to be feeding this inside, especially not on the slats. Wouldn't go down. The poop, for all intents and purposes, would be far too hard, and it'd just make them really, really difficult to keep clean. The idea of the cubicle system is that, you know, the poo is runny and enough to push down the slat. This just wouldn't work. So what we're doing is we're going at this. We're feeding the cows in the fields. We're keeping them off the majority of the grazing fields that we usually use. And then we're hopefully going to get a good second cut that's good quality to be able to feed next time. Well, like this coming year. This year's a little bit different for us. Obviously, we're transitioning over to dairy and everything's going to be fresh and new. And we are aware now the quality is paramount, not just the quantity. In the past with suckler cows, we've just wanted more. Well, obviously, we're going to be going into dairy and we're going to want the quality of silage and not necessarily as much of it. So yeah, that is why we have been eating into this, because as you can see, there's not actually a lot of space to put second cut. So hopefully, I don't even know if we'll get to the back of it, to be fair. We probably won't. We'll have to drag it down and put it on top. But in an ideal world, we finish that and then get a good second cut in and start afresh. So I'm just going to go nip to Roy's dad's. So I'm just going to tidy up because I've literally dumped that in the middle of the yard, and give these guys a little morsel of food, because if you listen to them, you'd think they'd never been fed. Ever.
Dancing feet and just
Troy's on the phone to Joe Seals. Again. I'll just do the work. Don't worry, Ray and Joe, don't worry. I'll just do everything around here. I don't know why I even rely on you. So the bullocks that we started feeding yesterday, obviously we've made a rod for our own back. They're not hanging at the fence, they're hanging at the feeder. So off we go. Just keeping it dry under there, to be perfectly honest. I have windscreen wipers. Where are they? Is that them? No, no. Where's the windscreen wipers, guys? Here. Way! Oh, the windscreen wipers are on. In all seriousness, someone did ask me at the weekend at Malpas how I was getting on with the Merlo. Getting on with the Merlo really well. And I mean that, even though I can't make the windscreen wipers work. There. The only thing I've had to get used to personally, and that is purely me and not the machine, is the swing of having an extended boom constantly. Like that there, can you see how far it's stuck out in front of the machine? Well, obviously if you turn, that swings out. I wasn't used to that. Now with a Bobcat, you're very much working here, like this, and the bucket is attached to you and it's not extended in any way, hence the problem with the Bobcat. It doesn't have any reach. That's something I've had to get used to. That's nothing bad on the machine, and it would be the same with any telehandler going. Apart from that, everything's been easy to use. I don't know how to work the aircon, still not figured that out. It flashes at me when I put it on. I don't know. But that's probably my fault as well. It's probably not the machine again. It's great with the shear grab. Maybe you can't be quite as rough with it, I must say. With a Bobcat, you can like ram into it, and it's because you feel like you're really close. With this, you can, which is not. It's not anything bad to say about the machine. It's just what it is. The turning circle is absolutely superb. I should probably show you since I'm stood. I can do. If you watch, I should really put you somewhere so you can see. Stay there. There's lots of beeping goes on. I'm not a fan of that, but it's safety. Bobcat, generally, when you look at it, doesn't look quite as safe, does it? I'm getting used to the knob on the steering wheel. Pun completely intended. But I'm enjoying it. It's good fun. It's been great. It's had no problems at all. The check valves are something that you've got to think about that you wouldn't ordinarily think about. And they just stop it's changing the oil flow and making sure it doesn't flow back into the machine, so it opens really slowly. You maybe can't be quite as rough, as you were just saying. Now, if that was Bobcat, I would be ramming into that silage pit, like I really would. You can, I didn't realise, rev up if you press your little, that pedal. Is it like a clutch? Maybe it is. This is one of the bugbears with it. I am about 10.5 stone-ish. I'm not little. I know I am little, but I'm not little. Like, there is no reason that seat shouldn't feel my weight. That's one thing. Change that. They need to change that. You know, not all men are fat. Not all farmers are fat. I think it's very, what's the word? Fattest. I don't know. Skinniest. It's not good. Apart from that, I'm about to drive in a field and feed cows. Bobcat wouldn't do that. Roy said it doesn't actually, he'll do it because it doesn't maybe travel. So that there is the site where we always put the ring feeders on. Have done, always, now and forever, have put the ring feeders on it. They get messy, and I mean that. I remember putting a video on saying this is why we bring cows inside, and somebody who I was going milking for at the time was like, oh my god, I can't believe you put that on the internet. It's true, get over it. It gets messy. So the reason why we do this is we keep the area for poaching limited to that one bit. We always have done. Yes, it's a mess. Yes, I know, but we're limiting it to one area in the field. It's next to a hard track, so basically Roy can drive in here, although it looks a mess, that's a hard track, go around there and drop it there. That's why that is there. If we were to move the feeder around the field, you'd just end up with a poached up field. We'd rather there be extreme poaching in one area and nowhere else. There's no water courses anywhere near. We're on the top of a hill. We're right next to the farm. Fair enough if you're in that field there and it goes down to the Luzbeck. This doesn't. It's a different thing altogether. There is method in what seemingly is madness. We're just trying to limit the impact on the whole field, if you know what I mean. Hence why the sheep feeder, which is still out by the way because we're lazy, is here right next to the hard track. It just means when you're dropping feed out and stuff, you're also not driving across the land and making a square up. We are on very, very wet land, if you haven't gathered already. We are, yes, it grows grass, but we are very, very wet. So we have to be mindful of that kind of thing. One day we had it in mind that it wouldn't matter that was all poached up every year because we were going to be putting a slurry tower there anyway. And we were going to be digging it off and putting a concrete pad down. The price of the things, I don't know whether that's the way forward. Digging a hole in the ground and just putting a lagoon, it might be the way forward. It's not ideal for what we had envisioned for the future, but yeah, it might have to be just for the cost implications. Although a slurry tower is probably a similar amount of money to a new Range Rover, and everyone seems to be able to get one of those, so I don't know. It's not exactly a luxury, is it, slurry storage? Oh, he got a way better grab than me. That's not a grab of silage, that's a handful of silage. Back to Merlo, the Bobcat wouldn't do this. So what we'd have to do now is we'd have to take the Bobcat off the Keenan, which it doesn't matter because there's no cows in, put the loader on and use that to feed the cow. Any muddier though, and I don't think it would. So me and Roy are just at his dad's house, feeding up. Got a pre-movement test, just waiting for the vets. So we are pre-movement testing these guys here who've just knocked all of the plywood off the gate last night. How long's that been on? 20 years? 20 years and they've knocked it to bits. They're the ones that we have to park the Bobcat in front of the gate because they've just bust out. They're so naughty. Very ready to go. There is 3 Anguses there. Then there's these guys here, these 3 are ready to go. And then there's these Montbéliards here. They're also ready to go. And they're the ones I was showing you the backs in them the other day. Anyway, we'll TB test them. It just is a pre-movement test. This isn't the full herd test or anything. So what happens is, if you're not a farmer, sorry, I've just been in the barley. Wear a mask, man, it's just not safe, is it? Yeah, what we do is we are in a TB hotspot area. Everyone around us that borders us has had a bout with TB or has had reactors. We haven't. Wow, I don't know how. I think the stigma around having a bout with TB has dissipated over the last couple of years. I remember the first case of it. I actually know the people who had the first case of it. And it was like, oh my God, have you heard this? It's just not one of them things anymore. I think, to be honest, it just is a problem that we're all facing together and not really pointing the finger at people. Times have changed. It's such a widespread problem. Now, as we are in a hotspot area, we TB test every 6 months. So we full herd test every 6 months. Now, we managed to move our tests very slightly in the first couple of years. And we've moved them so that we test just before the animals go out with young calves, when some of them are due to calve, so in the middle of calving, and then we test them when the animals come in October. We've managed to get it to there, which is brilliant. At first the calves aren't to test because they're so young, and then obviously now when they come in the calves are to test. 6 monthly testing, pain in the ass, and it also means pre-movement testing every animal that moves off this holding. So, and actually it's not 60 days. They start the window from the date of the test, not the reading, which is silly because you haven't actually got a clear test and you can't move them. It's just bizarre. So you get about 56 days to move. Animals, after they've been TB tested, they've got to be in that window or they can't leave your holding. You can't sell them. And then if you go over that, you need to test them again. So we are yokel farmers, so we barricade the yard. Come on, come on. Come on, come on. Whoa. like that. At our house it's slightly different. We have a really good handling system, and we have gates and whatnot. It's a lot different. Here we throw machinery across the yard and then we'll run them. Yeah, Rose just said we did pay for it. Seriously? You can't buy crash barriers for 20 quid? Is that all the crash barriers? 22 quid? Decent. You can build something out of that. That's cheap. This is the handling system here. Basically, you run them in there. There's a little, like a holding pen round the back, little as well. And then you run them up here and straight out. Now, our house, you will have seen, is entirely different. We'll get a gate. Must have been on cinematic. Did you see the change then? All the background blurred and I went really focused. These two greedy cows are also going, so I'll just shove them out the back. This is the little pen that I was talking about that holds the cattle. They then run round here and up here and into the handling system. Go on, you two, out you go. Thank you. There's literally no need to be ridiculous. Come on now. Just do as you're told. Come on, Les, out you go. There we go. Oh, they're good. Oh, they're well behaved. Look at that. Go on, ladies. Go on, lassies. We're not. I did say it was massive. It's maybe not massive. So this is a headstock. And you change it by doing that. And then she fits her neck through. Hey, hey, hey! Well done. Roy said, don't show your TB testing. He said people don't want to watch it. They'd rather watch the Merlo dropping silage into feeders. And he's not far wrong, to be perfectly honest. Yeah. I'll speed it up. He said it's not palatable. The public don't want to see it. That's naughty. Very naughty. You're not even funny. Stop! Get in there! Just the last ones. We're just guarding the fort to make sure they don't escape through that very expertly blocked up gap there. It's raining and it's messy and it's dirty and it's horrible. Meh. Has it skipped to October and I didn't realise? So I am just making the video now. I hope you enjoyed it. I've actually been really busy yesterday and today, but that is a video for another time because it got to like 15 minutes and you do not want to watch any more than 15 minutes of me because that's just torture. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time where next video is going to be even more interesting.